Danielle Kang claimed her first LPGA victory, and she did in major championship style at the KPMG Women's PGA. And speaking of major, how about Kenny Perry winning his second U.S. Senior Open, outlasting Kirk Triplett at Salem Country Club? And on the European Tour, this guy, Tommy Fleetwood, rocked his way to his second win. Ryder Cup radar, and also is he now a favorite for the Open Championship? We discuss all of it coming up on Morning Drive. Good morning, welcome inside Studio AP. It is a Monday edition of Morning Drive. It may feel like Monday for some of us, but for most everybody else, you're probably celebrating the holiday. Enjoy it. Hopefully golf is involved. Gary Williams, Charlie Reimer, PGA Tour winner Robert Dameron. Gentlemen, good morning. How are we?
I'm doing good, but not as well as Danielle Kang is this morning. That was a fun, emotional victory, and I'm telling you what, she'd been having a great year. She'd made about $800,000, so it didn't come out of nowhere, but she's going to be a heck of a Solheim Cup player. I mean, she's got a ton of personality.
Oh, it's great. And a person with a lot of personality is somebody that can make the whole team better. Even if they don't play well, if they're good cheerleaders, if there's somebody that the other team wants to be around, the rest of the team can be lifted just by her presence.
No, that's a good point. Now, people celebrate in different ways, different forms and fashions. Well, this viral video was caught a little bit after she won. Now, that takes some coordination. That's Michelle Wee, her good buddy, a little dab at the end. So you're not exactly the greatest athlete in the world.
What?
We've been practicing. Okay,
we got it. We got it.
That's horrendous.
I think we nailed it.
That wasn't a dab. That was a slap.
That was after a lot of practice.
Yes.
Too. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure you did. All right, what is happening? Well, Danielle Kang is happening. Let's take a look, because to claim your first win and to do it in major championship style, you're joining very elite company. And boy, she had a lot of heat on her because the defending champion, she was coming after her. Here she is, long birdie putt here on 7 for Brooke Henderson.
Yeah, Brooke did an amazing job of forcing Danielle to have to play some good golf and finish with that strong birdie. It was a lot of fun to watch Brooke get after it.
Here's Danielle Kang, Robert. It's got a little bend to it.
Yeah, and this is a bounce back after 3 putting. Kind of a bad 3 putt on 10 to get that shot back on 11 was nice.
Yeah, that tied her for the lead at 10 under par. Now we get to 13. Lengthy birdie try.
Yeah, if you're going to win a major championship, and especially if it's going to be your first ever win, you got to have a special day on the greens, and that's certainly the case for Kang.
No question about it. Now, her second, Robert, from 132 on the following hole, right rough.
And watch in the rough, there's no guiding. She swings real good and hard. Make sure it gets out of there, stays down with it. Those firm conditions, too, played that so well.
Wow, that's a beauty there.
Certainly did. She would make that. That'd be 4 in a row. Moves to 13 under. She's got a 3-shot lead, but you know what? Don't give up on the defender. Here she is on 18.
Well, don't forget, she made birdie at 17, put herself in this position, and this looked so incredibly good. Wow, what an effort.
It took a few hops early. I'm telling you, that took just enough off of it.
It did. It was the absolutely perfect line. That was for Eagles. So Danielle Kang, after hitting a brilliant second, you guys are going to get into that. That's a pretty good way to feel. This is a young lady who did everything at the amateur level, and to claim her first victory, and I mentioned Annika Sorenstam did the same back in 1995. Here's what she had to say about this huge accomplishment.
This week I showed up and I trusted every part of my game, no matter where I ended up, and I think that was the difference. And I told myself, you know, it has been 144 starts, and it's a lot. That's a lot of tournaments to play. And finally, I told myself a couple months ago that it's not everything. Winning isn't everything, and I just wanted to work hard and get better, and here I am.
There you are. We mentioned some notables since 1995. Their first LPGA win was a major. I mean, you're talking about some of the greatest players of all time, starting with the person at the top of that list. Annika Sorenstam, the Saeri Pak, what she did, obviously, in the explosion of golf in Korea. Yanni Sen, Morgan Pressel, just go down the list. Danielle Kang, you have joined elite company, and you did it in incredible style, Charlie and Robert.
Yes, she did. Certainly a day that she won't forget for the rest of her life. And I got a chance to know Danielle a little bit a couple years ago down at the Pure Silk in the Bahamas. And in fact, we went out and did some swimming with the dolphins. And this was first off, I mean, I look really good in a wetsuit. No, that's my dance partner. But Danielle got in there. She had a lot of fun. We spent several hours on this shoot, and you can see her personality. Not only the time I spent with her, but she got a great relationship with Michelle. We follow them both on Twitter. They're always playing pranks on each other.
I think that's cool. She got to swim with a bloated marine mammal and with a dolphin.
Well, we had a very good day. You wouldn't look very good in a wetsuit either, but we had a very good day. But knowing her a little bit made it really a lot of fun for me to watch the second shot that she hit into 18. Because if you're playing this game at this level, this is the sort of thing you've been practicing for and dreaming about your entire life, Robert. And let's just sort of walk through this whole situation right here with Kang, knowing she's got to make birdie to win a major championship.
Well, you know, all that is going through her mind, all the shots she's ever hit in her life, all the practice as a kid, the situation, you can't shield yourself from it. And you know that that's all going through her mind. And Charlie, you noticed on those practice swings, a couple of them were a little heavy.
Did not go very good. Now, you can see the divot that she made over there in the practice swing. So you got the biggest shot in your life, and you've just made a horrible practice swing. She did a wonderful job of resetting, regrouping, and played this shot right here. I love watching this shot. There wasn't a big area she was trying to shoot it through. Put in absolutely perfect position. I'm telling you, that's as good as it gets, feeling as much pressure as you can possibly feel in this game.
No, she took that little extra time to stop what she was doing, back off, recommit, commit being the big word, and then a really nice aggressive swing. Not hard, overly out of her skin, but aggressive enough to where you're not steering it. It was a beautiful shot.
Yeah, that's one. Now she's moving up, obviously, into a whole different level of play. And, you know, this game you don't play great all the time, but that's a shot right there that I'm going to keep on my iPhone if I'm Danielle Kang. And if I have a couple of bad rounds or maybe a bad few weeks, I go back and look at that one and remember, hey, look what I can do when everything is on the line.
No, I like that idea. And if I had a few good swings like that ever, I would have them on my iPhone too. But you're right, you said it. She will never forget that swing. And next time she's in contention, she will never forget how she bowed up on that last hole and hit the shot of her life.
Yep. Great stuff from Danielle Kang, Gary.
No doubt about it. What else is happening? Well, Kyle Stanley, this 5-footer, in a playoff over Charles Howell III. He claims his second PGA Tour title, and it's been a while. And he was highly emotional for Charles Howell III. That's his 16th second place finish on the PGA Tour. Ricky Fowler made a run, had a debilitating double bogey that really kind of spoiled his chances. Martin Laird, you can see him at 5 under par, as well as Sung Kang. He was actually at one point during the final round leading Mark Leishman, an excellent 66. Now, Sung Kang had an issue yesterday. Now, the weather forecast in the greater DC area didn't call for rain, but it's July in the greater DC area, so it can rain at any point. And he has a short putt, and he is putting through an absolute downpour. He's furious he missed it. He did not have an umbrella, didn't have like a lightweight jacket in his bag, has his hat on backwards. He's fuming, and he's not just angry at himself. I think that there was some heat being applied to the man carrying his bag, which raises the question, what should you have in your bag?
Yeah, I'm one that I always wanted to make sure. I mean, I didn't want to wear my caddy. That's a tough job. Those are heavy bags.
Yep.
And I'm responsible for what's in my bag. I'm not deferring that responsibility to my caddy at all. I've got to know what's in that bag. And I always had an umbrella. If nothing else, it's a great place to hang your towel. And you know, Gary, I'm gonna have a towel with me every time I play golf. That's a valuable piece of equipment to me. But they're not the only ones that didn't have a lot of equipment in the bags. There were several other guys out there that didn't have an umbrella, didn't have a rain suit. It's a hot time of the year. It's not an easy walk, and it's a pretty common situation. But I still think a mistake for all the players that didn't have the right gear, Robert.
I agree, but we also have to look back when we were playing, caddies didn't make as much. This is a much more serious and difficult job now, much more demanding. These guys can make so much money, and we can debate whether he shouldn't have had an umbrella, but you saw on Kang's face when he missed that putt that he was looking at his caddy, staring at him, fully blaming his caddy. And the worst part about playing in the rain, wet glove, wet grips, he hit it in the water on the next hole,
yes,
even though there's a small delay. If the caddy didn't have the towels and the new gloves and all that, that could have played into that as well.
Yeah, he actually took off after he tapped in and ran to the next tee, and his caddy ran after him because he knew that there was some friction that was going on there. How do you diffuse that? I mean, he still had a chance to win the golf tournament. Is that incumbent on the caddy to say something?
Yeah, again, I'm not one to defer responsibility. You know, I'm the guy hitting the shots. I'm the guy responsible for my equipment. I'm the guy responsible for my state of mind. A caddy might be able to be helpful there. I wouldn't have wanted anybody talking to me at that point. I just wanted to have a little quiet time.
Give me some space.
Let me breathe. Let me figure it out. This was my mistake. I'm not blaming you for it.
See, I agree that in theory you're right. It's probably Kang's fault, but athletes don't tend to blame themselves. They like to blame outside agencies. Surely there's no way they would make a mistake.
It's not their fault.
Never.
That's kind of the mentality you have to have. All right, let's move on. What else is happening? Kenny Perry is happening. He did it for the second time, winning the U.S. Senior Open, the 38th edition, and he was so impressive in doing it. Let's take a look at some of the highlights. Here's Bernhard Langer. I know through 36 holes, we all said he's the man to beat. Here on the first hole, his approach on the par 4.
Yeah, and this was one of the few bright spots of this round. I mean, shocked to get to the math at the end of that round and see that it was 74. I don't think anybody saw that coming.
You're exactly right. Tied for 18th. 54-hole leader Kirk Triplett, long par putt on the third.
Well, after Kenny had birdied one to get into tie for the lead, Kirk just missed that.
So that put him one behind. Now here is Kenny Perry on the first hole, his lengthy birdie putt. He makes that. He would take a share of the lead at that point, but Triplett was not going to go away. Birdie putt here on the 16th.
Yeah, a little sloppy on the front nine, but really did a good job of giving himself a chance late. Kirk can walk away from this week with his head held high. Played some really good golf, just got outplayed by Kenny Perry, who was nearly perfect on the final round.
Yeah, 2 back but 2 to go after matching pars on the 17. A birdie putt here on the 18th. Just didn't melt enough to the right. So that would leave Kenny Perry with 2 putts from short range. He can handle this. And he did just that.
Winning with perfect speed.
Truly did. Kenny Perry's had one heck of a career. 14 wins on the regular tour. Now his 9th win, his 2nd U.S. Senior Open. And to go bogey-free, Charlie, that's strong stuff.
Absolutely. Phenomenal golf from Kenny Perry. And again, Gary, you don't see many bogey-free rounds in a USGA championship on Sunday. Kenny did a couple things this week. I think he really liked the speed of the greens, the fact that they were a little bit soft. When he missed, he could get aggressive with his chipping. He never got uncomfortable with really, really fast greens. But the other thing, and Robert, you've played a ton of golf with Kenny over the years. He drove the ball beautifully. You say he's one of the best in the game at driving the golf ball. Let's have a little closer look at his swing.
Well, I say he's the best driver of the ball that I've ever played with. That, I played enough rounds with Kenny, probably 100 times, to watch it. And the combination of long and straight is awesome. And let's roll it. First off, Kenny always aims right. You can see he creeps to the right, takes it back inside. The shot trace, you can see, started right. It didn't quite draw, but watch this. Kenny always told me, he kept it so simple. I hit this draw. If I kept my right foot down on the downswing, then I could stay behind it better. Now watch this. He's got this late turn, a very unique, different backswing, left arm bent. But let's watch his right foot. This is what he said. Right foot stays down at impact. My lower body doesn't open up. See how his knees are more square and the right knee's not out and open? That way he could start the ball right, swing out maybe more towards first base for a right-handed golfer, and stay behind it and hit that draw every time and just trust it.
Yeah, in all the golf that you've played with him over the years, have you seen him try to hit more than one shot with a driver off the tee?
Never. I saw him try to hit a slice one time because there was a tree in his way, and we were laughing at him. He doesn't, it just
doesn't do it.
Completely uncomfortable with anything that bends to the right.
So if he needs to move the ball left or right, he might just go to a 3-wood or hit a long iron, just sort of not try and hit a shot he's not comfortable with playing. He's just got that go-to shot, and it's the only shot that he plays.
That's 99.9%. It's a high draw, and that's a. You know, a lot of the more modern players don't do that. They try to work shots in, but there's something about having a go-to shot under pressure that you trust above everything else, and that's what Kenny's got.
So I'm thinking, I'm a 12 handicap sitting out here listening to this morning. Maybe I find one shot that works well for me with my driver, and I absolutely stick with it. Great stuff from Kenny Perry, and you as well, Robert. Right now, let's go over to Bailey, who has our tee sheet.
Good morning, Charlie. Yes, I do. We've already touched on the LPGA, the PGA Tour, and the PGA Tour champions. So how about the European Tour, the action there over the weekend? 26-year-old Tommy Fleetwood, he is first up on the tee sheet. He is having a banner year, just won the H&A French Open for his second title of the season, but also finished runner-up at the WGC Mexico Championship and 4th place at the U.S. Open last month. So what is on the horizon for the Englishman? Stay tuned to find out. We are also going to check in with Michael Breed this morning. He's going to help you hit your hybrids better. And his advice on how you're going to do that, well, I'm not so sure that you're going to like what he has to say. Stay tuned for that. And anymore these days, golf, it's not so much an individual sport. Everyone has a team of people around them. And one player's mom, well, she took matters into her own hands this past week. Find out why this woman is wading in the water and why it's among our Monday mulligans. It is all ahead on this Monday, July 3rd edition of Morning Drive. We are back right after this.
Where are you going? Oh,
and why is Charlie
there go our ratings.
waiting around?